And Deputy Chief Fernando Spagnolo, who joins me now live from Waterbury, Connecticut. Deputy Chief, can you shed some light on another story that we're hearing? And we don't know if it was an investigative tactic or if it's actually known to be true. But as we understand it, when detectives presented Dominique Pittman with certain facts, he spilled the beans on having a relationship with Evelise Santiago, his niece. And that story that they told him was that they had some evidence that there was DNA that proved, DNA inside of Evelise that proved that there was a relationship. And someone floated the notion that she was pregnant. Can you tell me whether this 16-year-old girl was in fact pregnant and with Dominique Pittman's child? Is that part of this story now?
Absolutely. So we're still waiting for confirmation from the medical examiner's office on whether Ms. Santiago was pregnant or not. We don't know that to be a fact or not right now. I think what you're talking about is during the course of the interview, the possibility of Ms. Santiago being pregnant or her DNA being found or Pittman's DNA being found on Ms. Santiago was what was presented to Dominique Pittman during the interview. And at that point, he did break down and admit that he was involved in a relationship with Ms. Santiago.
Did the investigators actually say anything about, and I understand, don't get me wrong, I understand it is fully within investigators' rights under the law to float any story you want. You can tell blatant lies when you're interrogating somebody. It is not illegal, and it happens all the time. It's part of the investigative process. Is that something they did? Did they tell him she's pregnant with your baby?
Well, we don't know her to be pregnant, and that was not how the question was posed. It was part of the investigation. You know, we had some suspicions on what was going on. We had a lot of suspicion about Dominique Pittman's story at that point, and there were clues that were pointing to the fact that these two were a lot closer than he was leading us to believe. So he was presented with the possibility that there may be some sort of relationship, and you know, if she was pregnant or his DNA was found on Ms. Santiago, then
here's the key question in the charges that he's facing: murder, carrying a pistol without a permit, weapons in a vehicle, but not child rape, because she's 16 and the age of consent is 16 in Connecticut. However, she just turned 16 on October 21st. Deputy Chief, do you know how long this relationship's been going on for? Because as I understand it, if it's prior to October 21st, well, it's a whole other ball of wax he's facing.
You're absolutely correct. You know, that part of this investigation is still open. We're still working on it. As of this moment right now, we know that we can confirm that this relationship began in early November. However, this is a very active investigation, and we're looking into that timeline.